Maintenance sucks. Okay? I said it. You know it. It's what everybody's thinking. It's the bane of our existence in property management. It's not the reason why we got into business in the first place. Just saying it gives me flashbacks to what maintenance used to look like when I first started my property management company. It was a mess. I grew from 0 to 350 doors in the first 2 years, and I'll tell you, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and one of the biggest ones was in maintenance. But with the thousands of property management companies that we've coached and consulted over the past decade, we've put together a game plan of how to have a strong maintenance process that's going to save you from these headaches. What type of headaches? Well, emergency phone calls, right? Everything's an emergency. It's a fire that needs to be put out. Tenants that are calling all frustrated, not submitting work orders properly. Then you have landlords that get pissed off and then they end up canceling contracts, or you have to make concessions for them. It's time to put a stop to it. Probably 80% of the communication that you get, calls and emails, are about maintenance. Well, today, it's gonna stop. I'm Berube, I'm with BetterWho, and if you follow these steps in today's video, you're going to be able to have a strong maintenance process in place that is going to future-proof your business and avoid a lot of these problems. Today's video, we're talking about maintenance, 5 key steps to a strong foundation. The first 3, I'm gonna breeze through, but the last 2, super important, okay? All of these are important, but the last 2 really stand out. First one, preventative maintenance, and that's avoiding the problems before they happen. You know, my wife says to me, Jay, you don't pay attention to me until I have to yell about something or when I get really angry about something. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. So I started thinking, why is that? Well, it's kind of like with our health. We don't typically go to the doctor unless we have like an issue that comes up, and then we start taking care of our health. But with good preventative maintenance, not just for your body, but for your company, you'll be able to not just save your marriage, but also save your company from all of the headaches that you're receiving now. So what does good preventative maintenance look like? Hey, it could be as simple as just going through and doing a check-in once a year and noting the age of the appliances, the HVAC, and servicing the HVAC once a year or twice a year, depending on which market you're in. But having a preventative maintenance schedule and starting something now is the foundation. So start doing that. And why? Because it reduces unexpected repairs, it keeps your landlords happy, it positions you as the authority, it avoids surprises, and it avoids the landlord seeing a big bill come in and wondering what the heck's going on? How could we have prevented this? And it's also going to set you apart from your competitors that aren't doing this now. Now, the second key step is effective tenant communication. Setting the right expectation. Tenants should be submitting work orders in the online portal if you have one. Hopefully you have one. A lot of times they're calling in, they're emailing, and your team is not training them to submit the work order online. And what happens is that there's a lot of confusion, policies not followed, and this is where mistakes end up being real costly. So you can't just tell the tenant once. You know, you have to let them know during move-in, right? In an email, verbally, send a video, a message in a bottle, whatever you have to do to get their attention multiple times, put it in your email signature. If you have an issue, so here's how you submit the work order. Make sure that your team members are trained to know how to submit a work order and letting the tenants know how to submit a work order. That's why effective tenant communication is so important, because everybody needs to know the rules of the game. Number 3, this is the third step to a successful property management maintenance system, and it's building and nurturing vendor relationships. Vendors are your maintenance superheroes. We all know it. Finding good, strong, reliable vendors are a rarity in today's market. And in the US, as the labor force gets more picky and picky, people don't want to do those types of jobs. So it becomes even more difficult to find good vendors. This is why it's super important to make sure that you're treating them right. Make sure you're checking in with them. Your maintenance coordinator is constantly looking for new vendors. Pay them on time, acknowledge the great work. I mean, I can't say it enough. Vendor relationships are so important. Make sure you're maintaining strong vendor relationships. So we got those first three out of the way: preventative maintenance, setting the right expectations with tenants, and having a strong vendor relationship. Now we're going to talk about the next two things that are super important to future-proof your business. The first one, number 4 on this list, is establishing a strong maintenance process and policies. Why process and policies matter? Having a solid maintenance process isn't just a nice to have, but it's the backbone to a smooth operation. Without clear policies, things can quickly fall apart. Imagine a tenant having an issue, no one knows who's responsible for it, nobody on your team owns the outcome or who's handling it, or even worse, the issue gets lost in the shuffle and no one even responds to it. And there's no clarity, tenants are frustrated, and then tenant ends up tracking down a landlord, they send them a letter in the mail, and then the landlord calls you. There's so many different stories I could share with you, but this is so important to have process and policies in place. So let's talk about some of the key elements of a good maintenance process. Clear reporting procedures. We mentioned this before. Make sure the tenants know how to submit a work order and that it's consistent and that you keep training the tenant to do that. Define what information the tenant should provide when they submit the request. Make that clear for them, right? You have to set the expectations. People need to know the rules of the game. Define responsibilities and roles. This is another key element of a good maintenance process. Outlining who owns that outcome, right? Each part of the process. Are there multiple people involved, or is it just one maintenance coordinator? Is it a maintenance coordinator that's within a pod, or are you structured departmentally? If you don't know the difference, then go ahead and put a comment and we'll reach out to you and we'll talk a little bit more about that. From logging the requests to assigning a vendor to following up, the team members that you have need to know who's responsible and who owns that outcome. You need to have response time standards, clear KPIs. If you don't have clear KPIs in place, you can go to our website, BetterWho.com, go to our Learn area in our ebooks. We have all the KPIs that your property management company would need. What are KPIs? They're key performance indicators, and this will help you set clear expectations of how to quickly resolve requests, make sure that when request comes in, within the appropriate amount of time they're responded to, that the vendor goes out and resolves the complaint in a certain amount of time, to make sure the work order is closed out and the vendor is paid within a certain amount of time. Having these standards in place and documenting and tracking them is going to lead to long-term success. So use a software to log all maintenance requests, track the progress, document the resolutions. The accountability is going to prevent issues from slipping through the cracks. Some of the benefits of a strong process, well, it'll reduce the delays in addressing tenant issues. Build more trust with the tenants and landlords by showing that you have a reliable system. This is also going to build your authority in knowing so that your landlords have confidence that you were the right choice for them. It improves your team efficiency, eliminates guesswork, streamlines workflows. I mean, do we know that processes are important in your business? Yes, we do. So regularly review and update your processes, because when you have one in place, it doesn't stop there. You have to continuously adapt to new challenges or tools, and you have to make sure that you have a well-maintained system when you grow your business and you keep things running smoothly as you scale. So those are the first 4. Number 5, we're going to talk about some of the technology that you can use to streamline your maintenance systems so you can work smarter and not harder. This is the piece that's going to future-proof your business. So those of you who are still using sticky notes or spreadsheets, it's time to upgrade your maintenance software. We're going to go through 4 different solutions that you can look into. The goal is to reduce your logins. If you have too many different softwares that you're using, your team won't use them, and it's just another software that somebody has to learn. So here's how the technology helps. Streamline your maintenance requests, track work orders and vendor contacts, keep everything organized in one place. So we're going to talk about these 4 different solutions. Number 1 LeadSimple maintenance. LeadSimple is a process, software, and CRM specific to property management. They recently released LeadSimple Maintenance, which is workflow management. It's a flexible system that manages the life cycle of the work orders from creation to completion. It has a two-way sync with AppFolio and some of the other property management softwares out there, so that one system is talking to the other system. This is going to eliminate duplicate data and also reduce errors. And LeadSimple will help improve the communication that you have as well, because it integrates with your email and it'll maintain a complete history of the communication across all the channels. Number 2 on the list, AppFolio's Smart Maintenance. AppFolio has been around for a while. They're a property management software. They're one of the options that you have for property management softwares. Buildium also can manage your maintenance work orders, but AppFolio Smart Maintenance is something that I've heard more and more about lately, and I think that they're working out some of their kinks. One of the benefits of using AppFolio Smart Maintenance is that if you're already utilizing AppFolio as your property management software, you don't have to get another software. It'll do automated vendor assignments where it automatically assigns the vendors based on predefined rules. It'll streamline the maintenance process. They provide after-hours support, which is questionable to how effective that is. AppFolio support is not known for being one of the best features. And they provide an integrated platform, so you'll be able to utilize just one system rather than having a bunch of other logins like we had mentioned before. The third option, this is the way of the future, I'm telling you right now, and this is Vendoroo. Vendoroo is the first and best AI-driven maintenance management solution that I've seen. Essentially learns the way that you do maintenance and continues to learn, and it's going to streamline your operation. You'll be more efficient. Your remote team members are going to be able to handle more work orders. You are going to essentially have a better system in place that's going to be more efficient, and it's going to future-proof you if you adopt it now. So I would highly recommend looking into Vendoroo. We can even pair your Vendoroo program with one of our remote team members, and this is going to save you big time in the long run and really streamline your maintenance system. Fourth option is PropertyMeld. PropertyMeld is known for giving a number of customizable data points and KPIs. They integrate with pretty much all of the most popular property management softwares like AppFolio, Buildium, Rent Manager, PropertyWare. There's automated scheduling and communication, and these other systems do this as well, but PropertyMeld has really a special way to track and to have a great dashboard and to streamline your maintenance. So PropertyMeld's great option. So here's a recap of those 5 steps and the 4 technologies that I mentioned. First step, preventative maintenance. The second, clear expectations with the tenant. Third, good vendor relationships. The fourth, policies and procedures, so everybody's on the same page and everybody knows how to do the same thing every single time. And then number 5, having the right technology in place, whether it's LeadSimple or AppFolio or Vendoroo and its AI-driven maintenance or PropertyMeld. One of those 4 solutions will solve your maintenance problem. So there you have it. I'm Berube with BetterWho. If you don't already subscribe or like our channel, go ahead and do that now so you can get more educational content on how to future-proof your business. And feel free to let us know what other content that you want us to produce. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.